We are going to head towards the terrace. Suddenly, Kid stops dead in her tracks. I look to her, wondering what's wrong. Majel has already assumed his battle stance. I do so too, trying to see what's ahead of us. It's a random battle. It is actually somewhat random. Suddenly, I realize what they were triggered by. A barely audible voice of some kind can be heard far up ahead. Advancing a bit more, we come to the source. There, barely illuminated in the dim light, is some sort of a thin blue monster. It seems like it's been waiting for us, kneeling on the pavement as it chants to itself in a low, quiet tone. Its long, bony fingers seem to be etching something on the floor before it. It's a demon warlock! I unsheath my knife, getting ready to face off with the vile monster. Let's try to size it up. This is random, so we'll try sizing it up. The demon stands there with its long tongue waving in the air, beckoning us to try and attack it. Beside me, Majel had just finished chanting a spell as he extends its arm. A furious streak of fire shoots out from his fingertips. The blaze smashes into the demon. With the stench of burnt flesh thick in the air, I stare down upon the demon, now revealing a twisted smirk over its sharp fangs. Despite its agony, the demon starts to mutter something in a low, controlled tone. I look to Majel, worried this is going to turn into a battle of magic. Rush it before it has time to finish. Come on, let's get him, I shout, already sprinting toward the vile demon. Kid comes running behind me at full speed, hard on my heels. The demon angrily swings its scythe out at me just as I approach. Stunned, I try to stop running in time, but the huge scythe manages to graze my cheek. Shocked, I rub off the blood dripping from my face. Kid, who's flanked the demon from the other side, starts kicking the thing with her hard boots. A terrifying shriek is given off as the thing falls to the floor. How'd you like some of that, eh? The demon coughs up dark blue blood as it collapses onto the ground. Kid, I say remorsefully, this thing's no match for us. It's barely half as tall as we are. We gaze down at the creature. What should we do? Noticing we've stopped, the demon starts to write something in the ground with its own blood. Is it trying to communicate with us? Beg for mercy, maybe? The symbol it's drawing suddenly takes on a strange glow. A glimmer of light appears, and then a crack of lightning strikes upward from out of the symbol. Kid looks at me and looks back down towards the demon. Just as it completes drawing the symbol, she pelts the demon in the belly. It's hurled through the air, violently colliding with a nearby wall. After a few moments, it moves no more. Kid scuffs out the symbol on the ground with her boot. It was him or us, mate. Well, we won. Phew. You okay, mate? Yeah, I'm not bad. I've got some bruises here and there, but nothing too serious. You? Ah, are you kidding? I kicked that thing's arse so bad, it didn't even have time to say its prayers. Yeah, we did pretty good back there, didn't we? You got a thing or two to learn, but you're getting there, mate. Kid's mischievous eyes sparkle as I glance at her for a moment in the dim moonlight. I set off down the corridor with her, ready for what's next. So that is a random battle. Happens from time to time. After continuing on through the passage for a while, the terrace comes into view on the right. I take a deep breath of the fresh evening air, hoping to calm my senses. We are going to continue on through the passageway here. We make our way down the dimly lit passageway. After a few moments, we come to an odd, dusty door on the right. Kid quietly presses her ear against the door. Quiet as a church mouse. No one's there, mate. So, I think it's time to go in. What's with all this junk? Must be a storeroom or something. Seems like this is the inner mechanics of a clock tower. However, the gears look old and rusted. The cogs are spinning randomly without connecting up with their proper teeth. I doubt the clock's still in use today. The room seems to be currently used as a storage area. A large object catches my attention, off in a far corner of the room. It's too dark over there to see what it is, though. Do not touch anything out of the ordinary, Majel says abruptly, sending a sudden shock down my spine. However, just as he says this, I see Kid emerge from the shadows, dragging the large object out into the middle of the room. It's a large antique sword of some kind. We've got no use for that old thing, Kid. All it'll do is slow us down. Besides, we probably wouldn't even get much money for it. I reckon it's worth a lot to the right buyer, like an antique collector or somebody. Sulking kid quietly lays the sword down. What do you want? I look around, startled. That was definitely not any of our voices. Kid and Majel immediately take position, focusing their attention towards the source of the voice. Who's there? A figure suddenly appears out of the darkness. It seems to be a short, old woman with a large hood over her head. Although fully covered, it's obvious she's quite old. Oh, it's just some old hag, Kid says. Magel's sharp gaze on the woman remains unchanged, however. What an energetic young lady. You haven't come here this late in the evening to drop in on some friends, I'd imagine. I glance at Kid. Perhaps you have some score to settle with Master Lynx? My heart jumps. This is definitely not good. Will she warn the rest of them about us? We are going to tell the truth. Believe it or not, we could play dumb, pretend to have not heard her. Really? We're going to tell the truth here. Kid's eyes narrow. If we did have a score to settle with that bastard, what's it to you? Just as I expected. The old woman cackles in amusement. Children, they're always so interesting like that. So imaginative, yet so predictable. What? What are you talking about, old lady? Oh, it's already been 4 or 5 years, I would gather. According to what I was told, one night a young thief came to the manor, looking for trouble. The thief was a little girl about 10 years old. Surprised, I glance at Kid. There's a trace of an ice-like radiance in her eyes. Staring at her makes me feel like it suddenly dropped below freezing in here. Unfazed, the old woman continues her story. The girl was an orphan. She set off to face Master Lynx all alone, hoping to avenge the girl who had cared for her like a big sister. But, after all, she was all alone. Outnumbered and overpowered, she was eventually defeated and captured by Master Lynx's henchmen. As an ally, Master Lynx can be quite an asset. However, as an enemy, he can be one of the most fearsome men alive. If not for a friend who sneaked in and secretly rescued her, she surely would have perished. From what I've heard, this mysterious figure who could allegedly slip in and out of the shadows was the subject of many whispers throughout the manor, long after this incident had come to pass. Not moving a muscle, I tried to look for Majel. He's nowhere to be seen. I can only guess he's sporting one of those trademark expressionless faces somewhere off in the darkness. The inhabitants of Viper Manor don't condemn the unfortunate, because no one can win all the time. However, from time to time, the goddess of fate has been known to cast down those who have too much good luck, throwing the cogs of time out of order. It's not wise to try and stand against fate, continuing to repeat one's mistakes time and time again. The old woman continues, staring straight at Kid, smiling sweetly. If you want to steal the jewel, and if you really want to beat him, you too must give up your most valued possession, Kid. As long as you cling to it, the hands of your clock will never budge. They'll stay frozen, trapped in the distant past. Who the bloody hell is this old hag? Me? Oh, just an old lady. Pay me no mind. Thank you for listening to this old maid for such a long time. I certainly hope I haven't delayed you at all. But before you leave, which one of you... With that, the old woman looks in my direction. Ah, yes. You look like you've got a bit of a scrape there. Won't you let me have a look at it? What should I do? I don't know whether to be petrified or comforted by all this. We are going to let her look at it. The old woman clasps her hands together. Bowing her head, she mumbles a few words in a low tone. Suddenly, a gentle pale blue light surrounds my body, filling me with a strange warmth. Wow, look at that. My wounds are being healed before my eyes. It feels as though there's some sort of soft music being played all around me, putting me in a strange serenity. When I come around, the woman is gone, but I'm still hungry. Hello, lady? Says Kid, relentlessly looking around. However, there's no trace of her. All signs of her presence are gone. Wonder what was up with that old hag. Looking around, I can't help but wonder what she was talking about with all that talk about a prized possession and everything. Let's get our asses out of here. This place is giving me the creeps, says Kid all of a sudden, already heading for the door. Hey, wait up. As I catch up with Kid, she gives me a friendly poke in the ribs. Ain't no fair you were the only one who got healed. But I did get healed. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. The right path continues on into the mansion, while heading to the left will take us to the terrace. From here, we want to head to the right. Proceeding ahead on the path, we come to a staircase going up and a firm-looking set of doors on the left. There better be treasure here. The smell of gold's thick in the air, mate. She does say mate a lot, doesn't she? Then we want to actually try to go inside here. Just like I thought. Locked, Kid says after jiggling the handle. Frustrated, she kicks the door. This might slow us down, but sure as bloody hell it won't keep us out. Well, unless we find the key, there's nothing we can do, Kid. Let's get to it then. I bet Lynx has got it stashed up in his room somewhere, the bastard. Unable to do anything, we leave to look elsewhere. So let's head to the stairs. With Kid in the lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly twist upwards. It feels like we're heading up to a scaffold to be executed. Atop the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread. There's a faint voice coming from the other side of the door, says Kid. I fear the worst. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I say. What's the matter, you chicken? She says while glancing at me, but I can tell by the sound of her voice that she isn't feeling much better about this than I am. There's something wrong about this place, and we all know it.